the committee will come to order. The chair will advise the audience that disruption of a congressional business is a violation of law and is a criminal offense. Please come to order. The chair advises the audience that violations will not be tolerated and the violators will be removed from the room and may be subject to arrest. Committee will come to order. The gentleman from New Jersey is recognized for his 5-minute opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do want to say that I think hopefully everyone understands that these demonstrations are the people feel very strongly because they know they're losing their health care and the cruelty that comes from the Republican proposal that makes them lose their health care and their health insurance. But I would just ask that to the police, I don't know if they're in the room, that we not arrest people if possible because many of them are disabled and I don't want to see them further hurt with their disability in the process of being arrested. But for months now, President Trump and congressional Republicans promised the American people they would not cut Medicaid benefits or strip away people's health care. In February, President Trump said, and I'm quoting, "Medicare, Medicaid, none of that stuff is going to be touched." House Speaker Johnson doubled down on that promise, stating, and again I'm quoting, "The White House has made a commitment. The president has said over and over, we're not going to touch Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid." We've made that same commitment. Now, I have to say, Mr. Chairman, those are promises that Republicans made to the American people, and it's clear that they have broken that promise. And I just want to reference on Sunday night, Mr. Chairman, in a Wall Street Journal interview, you actually said that the Republican plan to trim Medicaid spending, you were commenting on the Republican plan to trim Medicaid spending, and you said, and I quote, "We're going to go as far as we can go to get 218 votes." Well, I think the bottom line is you're going pretty far here in either trimming or cutting, however you want to call it. You refer to it as trimming Medicaid. You don't have to take my word for it. The Nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office own analysis shows that at least 13.7 million Americans will lose their health care coverage as a result of Trump and congressional Republicans' action. The Medicaid and Affordable Care Act cuts included in the Energy and Commerce bill will make up at least 8.6 million of that total number. So 8.6 from this bill alone will lose their Medicaid coverage, and another 5 because it's obvious from the reconciliation bill that you're not going to reauthorize the assistance, if you will, for those who are on the Affordable Care Act in the marketplace. And so you add another 5 million, and you, by the end of the year, will have over 15 million Americans who lose their Medicaid. So you can call it a trim, you can call it a cut, call it whatever you want. The bottom line is these people are going to lose their Medicaid. That's why we have so many people. That's why there's so many people here today demonstrating. Now, let me be clear. This is not a moderate bill. I've heard you and others say this is a moderate bill. It is not focused on cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. Instead, Republicans are intentionally taking health care away from millions of Americans so they can give giant tax breaks to the ultra-rich who, frankly, don't need them. Medicaid is a life-saving program that 80 million Americans count on every day. It provides health care to 1 in 3 Americans and nearly half of all children in the United States. It covers close to half of all births, and it's the largest source of funding for long-term care for seniors and people living with disabilities. With this bill, Republicans are essentially telling millions of Americans, gotcha, no more health care for you. I looked at this, and it's like as if someone who was disabled walked in the room, and I said, gee, rather can I help you, it's like, how can I make sure that you don't access Medicaid, you don't access health care? Well, I'll say that maybe you can't fill out the red tape and the paperwork, but I'll make you do it once a month, and if you miss that, you're not going to get your health insurance. Well, if you want to sign up for the Affordable Care Act because you didn't fill out the paperwork for Medicaid, then you're not going to be eligible for the Affordable Care Act because we won't let you do that. So everything is being done to make it possible that people get kicked off so you can save money by not financing the health care. Now, a lot of us are going to talk about individuals today, and I would like to talk about my individual from my district. Her name is Lauren, and she has a daughter named Donnie, who is disabled. And Lauren is concerned about how devastating Medicaid cuts would be for people with disabilities. She has said, and I'm quoting, without programs like Medicaid that help them get out of bed in the morning, they will literally be stuck or worse out in the community, unsafe and victimized. Lauren worries that cuts to Medicaid will take away her daughter's life, and she says that Danny doesn't deserve that. That's Lauren on the left, and this is Danny, her daughter, on the right. And Lauren is right. Danny doesn't deserve this. And that's why Democrats will fight this cruel bill, cruelty is the point, that will strip health care away from millions of Americans just so that Republicans can give their very wealthy friends and large corporations a tax break. It isn't right. It's cruel. We shouldn't be taking away health care from all these Americans. And with that, I yield back.
Thank you. The gentleman yields back, and the chair reminds members that pursuant to the committee rules, all members' opening statements will be made part of the record.